This is my review of the game Industry Manager Future Technologies. This game is a production oriented game where you produce a variety of products and then you sell them in various cities that are on the map. So, what you do is you buy land. For example, I might buy this piece of land over here, and you're going to build factories, you're going to build warehouses, etc. And once you do that, you're going to start producing your products. The supply chain is very, very good. It's very advanced. For example, you might have. It's very complicated. Is the word that I wanted to use. You have a complicated supply chain, which means in order to build something, you might have to build four, five, six different things in order to get to the final item that you want to build. Um, I'm just going to come out and say it. There's something about this game that you're not going to like, and that is the scheduling is absolutely horrible. You want a game where you can build buildings and you can choose production and you have finance and you maybe have to pay employees and workers and you have to hire trucks and drive them around and ship everything and do the retail. But what the problem with this game is, which they may have fixed by now, is that the scheduling for transporting all your goods becomes what you end up doing with all of your time. There was no way to automate the scheduling. So you would produce something and the goods would just sit there. And you'd have to go and schedule all the pickups and the drop offs. And you, like I said, you spend all your time scheduling and scheduling and scheduling and scheduling, and it made the game not fun. This has one of the most complicated supply chains I've seen in any video game. It's definitely more on the advanced side, not the beginner side. One of the things that I don't like is that ultimately there is a limited number of property. There might be sufficient property, but when you're playing against like an AI player and the AI is buying all the property, nobody wants that. You want all the property for yourself. So you're going to be buying property. You're going to be building all your buildings, and you are going to sell it. I remember everything being relatively profitable, not having any problems. There are certain places over here. See over here it says personal electronics and it says communication, computer, virtual reality, and high tech. That's part of the supply chain. And there's a complicated research chain. If you want to build something high end, it's going to take you a long time before you get to the point where you can build the high end goods. And there's a retail area, which might be these buildings here, where and you notice that you can buy some of the plots of land, purchase trade center. You can open up retail stores to sell different products. The game is pretty good, except for the scheduling. And you'll understand what I mean. I've played about 50 hours in this game. So you're going to buy a plot of land, for example, right over here. You're probably going to want to be close to your city. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. Try to be between two cities. We got one city here, one here, one here. Try to get a plot of land that's between the cities because you're going to be selling in both cities. They have to actually transport your material to the cities. Maybe you want to be here. Maybe you want to start in the middle of the map, which is right here. You notice if the three cities form a triangle, you're right in the middle. You're equidistant from all of the three cities. And the other issue is, I know when you look at the plot of land, you're going to say it's irregular. You're not going to be able to build condensed structures. You're going to have to forego the fact that it's a free form building game, and some of your property is going to go to waste a little bit. You're going to want to obviously build more, and the other thing is when you start, you have to start out by selling very low priced items, and nobody wants to sell chickens for 10 cents or whatever, eggs or whatever. You want to be selling the high value goods, but it's going to be a long time before you get to the point where you can manufacture them. Unfortunately, my saved game was not here, so it has to start out new. I don't know if I'm going to play it right now, but let's go through some of the menu items, see what we got here. You can see you got family car over here, and look at all those different cars. You see what I'm talking about? How complex it is. You got chromium, plastics, rubber, steel alloy. You have to produce all this stuff. Or maybe there's an option to buy it. But it's a very complicated chain, and you don't get to start out with everything that you want. For example, we even have trucks over here, including buses. Look at that production chain. So the production chain is very advanced, and you've got software, home electronics, personal electronics, fashion. It's very, very complicated. Don't remember which one I pushed on. So we got some buildings over here, and you drop the building down on your property. You can see that. I don't know if you can rotate it. Well, it doesn't. It's not going to make efficient use of this space. I'm going to buy this plot of land over here. See, it says available resources per day. And I do want this to be more of a review. There is obviously a stock market. You can see that OmniWorks is a competing AI player. This is the market that shows the price of the goods, the quality level, the demand, and the supply. When you get to your building, you place a building. Now let's see if I can build a building. Okay, you go into your building, and I'm sure you're going to see different options for employment and what you can produce and things like that. And then you're going to see the scheduling issue, and then you're going to understand why the game is not so much fun. So in terms of dollar value, is the game worth like $50? I would say if everything were perfect, definitely. But it's you got research and development. This is how complicated the research and development tree is. You see, very, very complicated, more complicated than most games. You're going to produce the items, and it's likely to go into some form of a warehouse. Got research and development operating costs. You see it says hire max researchers 0 to 48. This is the research and development facility. And you need to, obviously you hire researchers, you will advance more quickly in the game. I'm going to drop another building down. And what I did as my strategy was I tried to do as much research as possible so I could move away from the lower ticket items and into the higher ticket items. But again, the issue with the scheduling made the game not very fun. I remember that it was profitable. I did play for 50 hours. Is it worth $50? I don't know. Check other reviews and see what other people say. $20 if you're planning. This is a game that you could play for a couple of weeks. It's not the type of game you're going to play for many years. And there's other games that I prefer. I prefer to play other city builders. And that's the big thing. This is really advanced, but it doesn't quite cut it. There's an issue regarding the transportation of goods. So we've got active production lines and building upgrades, which adds to the depth of the game. You have a transportation route, storage space, production line. Let's say we add a route. You choose your warehouse and your resource and your transport cost and the quality. And this is the part of the game where it started to not be fun anymore because of the way the scheduler worked. Again, they might have fixed it. Okay, so definitely read other people's reviews. I don't think you should spend $50 on this game. I don't know what the cost is. If you got the money to blow $20, go for it. If you have the choice of only one game to buy, strongly consider a different game like Banished or I even like Farm Manager. I'm sure there's other games. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.